Hey there, folks. Remember the thrill of watching Jack Bauer save the world one ticking clock at a time? Or that brooding vampire hunter in The Lost Boys who made our hearts race back in the late 80s? Well, buckle up. Today on Xplained Daily, we're diving into a story that's got a lot of people talking. Kiefer Sutherland, the son of Hollywood legend Donald Sutherland and a star many of us have followed for decades, was recently arrested after a shocking altercation with a rideshare driver. Is this the dark side of Hollywood fame? Or just a painful lapse for someone we've watched grow up on screen? Stick with me as we unpack what happened, revisit the memories that made Kiefer a household name, and look at what this moment could mean for a man who's been part of our lives for over 40 years. Welcome back to Xplained Daily, where we break down the stories that matter to those of us who grew up loving classic movies, iconic TV, and stars who felt like family. According to early reports, the incident happened last week, on January 12, 2026, in Hollywood. The 59-year-old actor had taken a rideshare late at night. A disagreement over the fare reportedly escalated. Words were exchanged, tempers flared, and the situation turned physical. Police were called to the scene. Kiefer was taken into custody and later released after posting bond. Thankfully, no serious injuries were reported. His representatives have since said he regrets the incident and is cooperating fully with authorities. Charges are still pending, and more details are expected in the coming weeks. For many of us, this news hits differently, not because celebrities are immune from mistakes, but because Kiefer Sutherland isn't just another headline. He's a familiar face from a very specific chapter of our lives. Kiefer was born into acting royalty in 1966. His father, Donald Sutherland, became one of the most respected actors of his generation, with unforgettable roles in MASH*, Clute, The Dirty Dozen, and later The Hunger Games. His mother, Shirley Douglas, was a powerful force in Canadian theater and activism. But Kiefer didn't ride on his last name. He earned his place. Many of us first noticed him in the mid-1980s, especially in Stand By Me. That film wasn't just a movie. It was a time capsule. Kids on bikes, summer friendships, and that bittersweet feeling of growing up. Kiefer's performance helped ground that story in realism. Then came The Lost Boys in 1987. Leather jackets, motorcycles, vampires. Kiefer's Michael was cool, dangerous, and conflicted. For a lot of us, that movie became part of our youth. Late-night cable, VHS rewinds, posters on bedroom walls. The 90s only strengthened his presence. Young Guns, Flatliners, A Few Good Men, sharing the screen with Tom Cruise and Jack Nicholson. These weren't just films we watched. They were part of our weekends, our dates, our living room memories. And then came 24. When Jack Bauer burst onto television in 2001, everything changed. That ticking clock, the moral gray areas, the intensity. In a post-9/11 world, Jack Bauer became the hero many viewers clung to. Tough, flawed, relentless. For nearly a decade, 24 was appointment television. You didn't DVR it. You didn't scroll your phone. You watched. And Kiefer carried that show on his shoulders. So when news like this surfaces, it feels personal, like hearing an old friend stumbled. Now, to be fair, this isn't Kiefer's first brush with controversy. In the early 2000s, he faced legal issues, including DUI arrests and a well-publicized altercation at a fashion event. He has spoken openly about struggling during that period of his life. But he also worked to turn things around. He stepped back. He addressed his sobriety. He returned with renewed focus, both in acting and music. Yes, many forget he's also a musician, releasing country rock albums that reflect regret, reflection, and resilience. That's why this moment feels complicated. On one hand, it's serious. An alleged assault is never something to brush aside. On the other, it's hard not to feel empathy for someone who's lived decades under public scrutiny, carrying expectations tied to iconic roles and a famous family name. For viewers over 45, Kiefer represents something rare, a through line from our youth to today. While we built careers, raised families, and navigated life's ups and downs, he was right there on screen, evolving alongside us. His relationship with his father, Donald, adds another layer. Kiefer has often described Donald as his moral compass. Their bond reflects a deep respect for craft, responsibility, and growth. It's impossible not to imagine how moments like this ripple through a family so deeply rooted in Hollywood history. Some experts point to the pressure cooker of fame, aging in the public eye, grueling schedules, the challenge of staying relevant while carrying the weight of past success. For someone approaching 60, reflection can sometimes collide with stress in destructive ways. Still, Kiefer's story isn't defined by one night. It's defined by decades of work, resilience, and reinvention. From rebellious teen roles to intense television drama, he's shown range, commitment, and staying power. So what happens next? That depends on accountability, reflection, and what Kiefer chooses to do moving forward. Careers in Hollywood have survived worse, especially when there's honesty and change involved. And if history tells us anything, it's that Kiefer Sutherland has faced setbacks before and found his way back. As we wait for more clarity, it's okay to hold two truths at once, to acknowledge the seriousness of the situation, and to remember the legacy that made this news feel so heavy in the first place. Here on Xplained Daily, we don't rush to cancel. We pause, we reflect, and we remember why these stories matter to us. If this story resonated with you, take a moment to like the video and share it with someone who remembers watching 24 when it first aired. And make sure you're subscribed for more stories that connect today's headlines with the memories we grew up with. Before you go, I'd love to hear from you. What is your all-time favorite Kiefer Sutherland role and why? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'll be reading them. Thanks for spending a few minutes with me today. And as always, stay curious,